catch up here. So I do that. Trying to just everybody for that we do okay. This is a segment of Diary in My Mind where I go into the development of myself and my mental illness and how I progress and those different particular segments and difficulties and try to relate that to others so that they can manage and also develop their own ability to handle certain situations that they may be facing. And of course, if you haven't seen the show, my mental illness is what they call identity disorder, diagnosed in 92, based on studies and evidence. It's a disorder that occurs between the ages of 5 and 7 due to a traumatic event. Like I always say, I don't go into a traumatic event because it doesn't solve your problem. It doesn't really help the people that are out there that are suffering or trying to manage the situation. This segment is based on a new journey. Of course, everyone that you know, and divergent, my wife passed away. So I went through a serious transition from a lot of family problems. A lot of my identities were able to, as you say, release themselves, and it caused a lot of conflict and it caused a lot of misunderstandings because I spent most of my time in my marriage with my wife and other surrounding family that knew me to be contained. In the growth process, we made a lot of mistakes. We made judgments based on the identity or the successes of that situation, allowing those identities to ruin or improve a period of your life. So for 4 years, I've been going back and forth, and for the first time, I just took time to look at myself and analyze everything I've done and try to work with these identities within my mind so that they don't overshadow my ability to effectively communicate and live. Because if the variance is not balanced, then I find myself fluctuating and it becomes much more difficult to live. I also tell people that every day is a struggle, of course. I tell people that it's not easy, it's not a game. I try to give people insight to understanding who they are, even though they have a mental illness. It's not crippling, it's not what you call life ending. I always tell people to make your choices. For those that choose to end their lives, those that want to choose to do so. I don't have a problem with that. It's just that they leave such a void behind and it causes more conflict than they really understand. As far as an adult, as far as the youth, I'm trying to prevent this because they're cutting off their life. I was a victim of it at a young age. And when you go back in my history, when I was 18, yes, I did. Because the pressures are so great that you think that it's removing yourself from the situation of your family, your life, would resolve a lot of things, but it doesn't. It very complicates things. Like I tell people, I remember my grandmother's face for the rest of my life. So I try not to go into that realm of that deep where I don't want to survive. But every day you go through it. Every day it's there. Every day temptations are there. Every day rage is there. Every day you battle with these things. But if you don't put them in a segment or surround yourself with people that are strong and help you balance, you're going to find yourself imbalanced. You're going to find yourself up and down. You're going to find yourself getting high, getting drunk, doing drugs, promiscuity. I don't know how to say it, but you know what I mean. Children, um, you just continue to complicate your life because you're searching for something that you lost a long time ago. And the ramifications of your mental illness not being understood or diagnosed correctly leads to death, death of others, you know, fractured families, children, etc. Now, the difference is understanding your mental illness as far as your aggression, your personal choice. I am not going to sit up here and go by what they give you a big book of pages and you check off these certain things and then they come to a conclusion. To understand mental illness, you have to go into depth. You have to understand that person before you even give them a test. You have to hear them, tones of voice, reactions to certain words or situations, and then that can help you determine, you know, which way they're going, which stage. I used to always say psychiatrists ain't nothing but legalized dope dealers. Um, Psychologists, they manipulate. All these things have been proven to benefit themselves to advance their ideology. But you're dealing with the human mind, which in complex and understanding is, is far, far, far more complex than just what a book can tell you. It takes getting to know a person, spending time with that person, years and years and years of watching that person's development or change. So what I'm doing now is basically documenting my life, my beginning to the point to where I made it now. And to understand there's no glamour, there's no success, there's no about, oh, look how he made it. He still made it. So therefore, everybody can make it. That's not the case. Everybody can't make it. All you got to do is try to help the ones that can and prevent the ones from doing destructive behavior. I contribute most destructive behavior to guns. And why I say that is if you give a person with intent to kill a vehicle to kill at a high rate, they are more likely to do it. Now, there are some just to take a knife, they'll do whatever it takes. But the ones that are very, very particular on how many, these weapons that they have on the streets is just unbelievable. And we've been going through this cycle quite a bit lately. And like they say, yes, only in the United States, you know, that is prevalent. But it occurs all over the country, all over the world. It's just, they don't really document it. They really don't detail it, or they don't really want to deal with it. My purpose in my game is to create an organization that branches off onto every aspect of your life, every aspect of mental illness, opening venues that are truthful and factual and handling various situations. I'm looking on the computer, but handling variations of life. And throughout my life, I've been doing this on my own. I always try to get to know people. I try to get to know what's inside of them and what they're going through, and not minimize it. Your problem is not greater than the next. How you handle situations is never going to be the same way another person handles that situation. The best thing you can do is assist that person in understanding that it's worth going on or it's worth the effort. Um, I can go on and on about a list of people that allowed me to get this far. Um, and I will always be grateful for that, for them understanding and dealing with it and not making me feel as though I failed or a disappointment. These are things that contribute to your mental illness. It's disappointment. It's expectations placed upon a person or child, most likely a child. Those are the most severe ones. It's the expectations that are placed on a child by his parents, families, friends, or whatever that case may be. And what we must understand is we must stop putting these expectations on children and allow children to grow within the stream of the growth. I also deal with this in several different aspects in our programs. But the base of it is children. The base of our structure is our children. And the diary of my mind is that that structure was never there. So this is what happens. This is you develop based on how people will see you, or you develop based on how you believe or perceive people want you to be. You don't develop yourself. You develop so many different things to adapt to what the environment around you creates. Because during that time frame of young 5 or 7, if that traumatic event happened, you're stripped. You're totally stripped of understanding yourself. And if it's not corrected between the ages of 5 and 13, you develop into these ideologies, or you drown yourself in all this ideology, and your mind cannot decipher what's reality, what's fantasy, what's truth, what's lies. And if you're around parents that have hate, you develop hate. But your hate is manifested so high, and if you are continue to surround yourself with that, you'll eventually be one of these shooters. You'll be one of these people that just snap and just kill people. You'll be one of them. But if you internalize all that, then you're going to be one of those people that take your life. Because if you internalize it's a great pain. It's a great pain and suffering that you continue to put yourself through. And you give yourself no outlook towards life. And once you lose that aspect of an outlook for life, it's over. Really, I'm telling you, it's over. You won't be able to come back from it. If you can't find a reason to live and you can't find a reason to continue, then you will succumb. Your mind is a very devastating thing, and it can tell you to believe that you're not worth it, you're worth it, you might as well end it, and before you know it, your life is over. Or it can train you to hate, and that hate is manifested to you hate everyone. And it's gotten to the point where now people are hating children. You have young men, 18 years old, believing that they're saving the world or saving their children from what they've been through. People say, what goes through a shooter's mind? All you do is sit back and see the victims. You got to sit back and see choices. You got to sit back and see targets. Nothing's random. Nothing. And if you take time to research each one, nothing's random. It's a purpose. Justifiable purpose? No. But in their mind, it's justifiable. And this is what we must identify with and understand. I'm sick of the politicians. I'm sick of religion. I'm sick of all the psychological mumbo jumbo, because it has not solved the problem. It has only increased it. And why I mean increased it is you're starting to dope these kids. You are doping these kids, either in the streets or in pharmacies. It's still doping these kids. And the adverse effect of that drug can be devastating. I mean, if you look at the warning signs on every drug, it's suicide, number one, suicidal tendencies. Number 2, aggressive behavior. These are symptoms. So if this drug you're taking is supposed to correct one issue but creates another, so they got to try to balance that with another drug. But that drug also creates another behavior. And we placed our children in so many categories: ADHD, attention deficit disorder, all these things that never, ever was around when I was young. My grandmother didn't believe it. And she believed every child has ability, every child develops differently. And based on the family and the trauma, that child will be either come good or bad. That's how her whole thinking was, but she never believed in a bad child or a child that can't excel. And I have been family members that wasn't supposed to make it this far, or wasn't supposed to do this, and they are very successful at this point. So I contribute that to my grandmother, always instilling that in me, understanding the traumas I've been through, understanding there was a rage within me that she had to contain. A lot of family members don't know, and it wasn't back then. It wasn't, I guess, proper or the way we did things as family. But it's come to the point where it's very important that we understand our children, because if we don't, they can do some devastating things. Because now the times of the ability to do what you want to do, especially with the weapons, is greater. Understanding what you project to your children, and if you don't explain how to handle these situations, you will have children that end up doing things that you would never imagine to do. Serial killers are not born, they're made. Rapists are not born, they're made. So forth and so forth. They're made. They're created. All society tries to do is blame it on different things like pornography, this and that. But an underlying truth, when you dig deep, it's always some structure within that family, community that has created this problem. We have more pedophilia in churches. We have more rapes in churches. We have more indiscretions in churches. And these is occurring to young people. And here they are, these people that are doing these egregious events are supposed to be so heavenly and upheld by the church, to the point that the church demeans what happened to those people. And we as a society continue to let it happen. So if you continue to let this happen, what do you think the outcome is going to be? Rage. And this generation does not have the understanding of handling rage. So they are instinctively acting out rage to the point where we are killing more people than we've ever killed. More people that get killed in wars on a day-to-day basis. And you people with the gun ownerships and all that, most guns from thieves and criminals and criminal activities are stolen from your home, in your car. The ones that are doing these shootings, they are not getting them illegally. They're getting them illegally. And anybody that sells an 18-year-old 2 automatic weapons plus 4 banana clips needs to be put in jail. Any person that continues to sell a man 2 sets of 50 cal, long scope range round, bullets after bullets, you need to be placed in jail. Because all you're doing is reinforcing that person's agenda. As far as you parents, you need to start to watch these video games these kids are playing. You need to watch the video shows you are letting your children watch. You need to monitor these things because inside of these shows that I watch, each and every one, violence is what it is. Self-demeaning is what it is. You have the upper class, this class, the token one, and the poor. And you continue bombarding your children with this through music, like I said, through religion, politics, all that. But this all plays a part in the mental mind. Like I said, you only use 10% of your brain. That's you. They tell me I use 12 to 14%. And that's what they say. Some people go insane because the more you use your brain, the more clarity you are, and more you're able to see through what is going on. You're able to process these things much faster than normal people. And when you're processing all this and you're seeing all this and no one's hearing you, they call you crazy. They laugh about the corner preacher. No, he crazy, blah, blah, blah. And then when these transgressions occur and things happen, people are like, oh, wow. It's just like my videos. I tell people all the time, people go back and they'll look 5 years ago and it's like, oh, man, you was talking about this stuff 5 years ago. In actuality, I did a poem about this over 30 years ago, 40 years ago. Actually, I was in high school. And I wrote a poem about black violence and how it would increase and what we were doing to each other. You know, just because people are young does not mean their mind is developed. It depends on how that child develops his mind. If you see a child reading and learning, continuously want to know, and continuously inquiring about events and things that normal kids don't just sit up and tell your kid, oh, go out there and play and go out there and do what kids do. Not every kid made the same. That kid is the one that's maybe going to develop a way to make a change. But if you demean what they do as menial, they will lose that self-confidence, and that's why we don't have leaders. Parents say, you're not the smartest people in the world. I tell you, you're not the cream of the crop. Because if you were, you'll be out there showing your children how to do this, how to make a difference in your community, not just bringing money home, not just having nice cars and nice this and nice that. All you're teaching your child is materialism. Everybody that's known me, I've always surrounded my kids with other kids, so I could get to know those kids and try to help other kids and trying to get them to understand that, you know, you're chasing something that just is not a reality. And now we see our children develop fantasies, and then if those fantasies are goals that they set, they're so high they don't achieve, they fall, they use different methods of escape. But this is a product of society. This is a product of development. This is the product of failure to understand that everything that we create comes back. I'm so tired of hearing parents cry now, but they weren't crying then when these others were doing. Never mind. And then they come home and the child is dead, and now it's an atrocity. That is the problem with society. Through everything, through drugs, oppression, everything. It's not your concern until it hits home. Well, everything hits home. Drug addiction, having gay children, transgender children, pedophilia in your family, rapists, serial. It all comes home eventually. You can't hide your children from life. And this is the number one reason for depression, anxiety, because people try to hide their kids from life. You don't know what's going on with your kid, then you got a problem. If you don't know what your kid is thinking, and you're not on them all the time about what they're thinking and feeling, they're going to develop emotions and feelings that you're going to not understand, and then you're going to have an outburst, and then you're going to be angry. with them because they didn't perform the way you expected them to. Well, you didn't give them the tools to do it. Being a parent is not about just going out and working and making money. If that's what you want to do, then you need to put someone in the house or marry someone that has that ability to structure the family. Family structure is the whole catalyst of everything. And I ain't just talking about parents, I'm talking about the structure. Surround yourself with good friends, good people that can help you if you are a single mother, a single dad, or struggling yourself. You need to surround yourself with people that keeps you contained. I had to learn that the hard way. Surround myself with people that kept me contained. And this is how I made it this far. Successes and failures, dreams and ambitions. But I never given up on people. I get mad, frustrated, um, with my own children. Um, because yes, my expectations of them doing better is not based on what they become. It's who they become. And I always try to make that clear to them, but sometimes it gets mixed up because I had children with different mothers, and that's another thing. You can't continue to do that and then try to raise your children because you're dealing with another parent, another ideology. Therefore, you don't have a constructive connection to that child to balance. And one thing from one parent and another one from another. You need that consistency from both parents. That's why it's important for parents to get along. You baby mama stop bull crapping, and you baby daddy stop bull crapping. If you love your kids, you're gonna figure a way out. You're gonna figure a way to make that thing pop. You're gonna figure a way to fix that. And I was able to do that with one of my children, and I'm always grateful to his mother. Not throwing names because all that does is cause more confusion and more anger. But that I always appreciate because we were able to do that, which allowed that child to develop and grow. So diary in my mind will start to detail my growth from what I remember because it's always been kept secretive or I didn't ever understand and never get a clear answer to some of the things that happened, some of the things I experienced, some of the things I'm trying to understand. Um, like I tell people, I don't blame nothing because everything was my choice after a certain period of time in my life, 18, 19, 20. Only thing I didn't have was someone around to help me analyze my behavior, what I was doing. Yes, I heard, oh God, dude, you need to chill out. Oh, you're doing this, you're doing that. But I never heard, dude, you need to talk to somebody. Never heard that, you know. So when I was able to get a understanding, like I tell people, it was too late for me. So from that point, when I learned that, I dedicate my life to younger people much more and much more diligently to save them. And you're gonna have successes and you're gonna have failure. And that's what diary of mind is. You have to analyze your own mind. You have to write down things if you have to. You have to write down things and place them in where they're supposed to be. Serious, not too serious, worry about it later. That's how you gotta categorize it. Because if you put it all together, it just becomes like a crumbled piece of paper and you just cannot move past that. And I can guarantee you, it's in every family. I don't care how much money you've been. Like I said, I've been around people with money and people with no money. And I've seen the same exact thing. Money ain't gonna change. Money ain't gonna make you happy. Money ain't gonna fix nothing if you don't solve the problem. Money's gonna add to the problem, but then you are allowing that person access to more destructive behavior. You're allowing him to have cars and money, or her to jewelry, done everything that is already feeding the stability of their mind to the point where they believe they own it. And now they're at the point where they will take it no matter what way to get it. So diary of a mind is expressing what's in your mind every day. Everybody should do a diary of a mind. Just write down your expressions of each day, and so you can start to see how your day gonna start. If you ain't got faith, I tell those people, do you? But in faith, you thank for waking up, thank Him, Creator for that, and then you move on and try to diagram your day. How are you going to get yourself back? Like I have to do. I have to get back because I took so much time because it had to come to the point where I had to deal with the situation of my wife not coming back. It was just something I blocked. It just time didn't matter, days didn't matter, years didn't matter. Now I'm just getting the understanding I got to figure out manage my time, manage this, do that. Add in complexities of family. Um, you suffer. There's no doubt about it. You suffer. And as far as myself, I look at things like my inability to really ask for anything. People have offered so many great things for me, and I've just walked away. That stems from my childhood believing I ain't worth it. And you can figure that one out. I don't have to go into detail why that is, but never felt I was worth it. Never felt that I was worth it. So yeah, it hindered me from doing a lot of things, and I probably could have done a lot of greater things. And I'm a spiritual person. I always tell people. I guess the Creator just got to the point where we just start to eliminate all these obstacles, and He continues to do it. So I guess my journey is to help people and do better, and get people to do better. But the system, let me tell you, the system has been against you. It has been against anyone that's going to go out here and try to make a difference and change and help change the minds of parents and children and teachers and society. It is bent against you. There's no grants for you. You're not profitable. And it kills me because the church ain't supposed to be profitable, but it is. It shouldn't be about profits. It should be about accomplishments. Is he going out doing what he's saying to do? Is the money he says he's doing? Is he doing what he's saying to do? That's what it should be about. But it's not. It's about the bottom line. And people, they only donate to these large charities because they get the tax breaks. They don't donate to that local person that's got a little basketball team and trying to do something. You can't get them to donate a damn dime. You can't even get parents to donate money to do something for their own kids. What's in it for me? How can I claim it on my taxes? This is what's wrong. So we're going to continue to produce those things. So I put out Diary of My Mind. This is the best way. You sit down and analyze yourself. You're going to hear different backgrounds because people are doing whatever they do in the house. And I don't sit up here and say, we need to be quiet because I believe in being real. I believe my show being real, hearing different voices, television, whatever people are doing. I believe in being real. And this is what my show is all about. Keeping it real. Like doing it up, putting on something, jacking this. I don't need merchandise. I don't need none of that because that ain't my purpose. My purpose is to bring the truth and facts to you on anything I speak about. I take time. I took time for the Diary of My Mind. I've been doing it different ways until I got to the point where I'm just going to continue to do the Diary of My Mind and just let people know each time how things are going with myself and my development and my restructure. Now, what I'm trying to do, I'll tell everyone, is restructure family. Um, it's fractured with me, especially because all my family, this is the segments of my life. I have the ability to embrace people. I have my ability that it never existed. I have that ability to do these things, and I've done it for so long that it became a norm. But eventually it came back to haunt me because now I'm trying to figure out, you know, who I am. The wrong say now you got a chance to live your life. What life is that? If all I lived was this or that, which one is my life? So that's what also I say, a diary of your mind. I write a lot of things down. I write a lot of things down, and I talk to people on a constant basis because once you hit it, and I hope that something maybe in the past, a clip that I said, or you may have heard, or my family member I talk to find that situation, and they can see what I'm continuing to put in their mind that you consciously understand. You're going through a certain situation, you can consciously understand. You can consciously focus on it. You can consciously understand what's going on. That's what it's about. That's what this everything I do is about. I'm not a monetary person, as you can see. I'm not a blinger. I'm not um, that type of person. So this is summary basically. I don't do long segments because it's just um, after a certain period of time, person's interest really wanes. So I do short pop segments on different variations of life. So thank you for listening. I'm Diary of the Mind. I'll see you on my next broadcast. Have a beautiful day and God bless.